Happy Monday morning, everybody. It's a beautiful spring day here and outside of Boston. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Chris Wysopal, and I'm the co-founder and CTO here at Veracode. Today, I'm talking with Brian Roche, Veracode's newly appointed Chief Executive Officer. Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing? I feel like we've been backstage forever. Do
Brian
you?
Roche,
Like we were like getting
Veracode's
ready,
newly
but
appointed Chief Executive Officer. Hi, Brian. How
hey,
are you doing?
good morning. How are you doing? I feel like
Chris,
we've
can
been
you
backstage. Can you hear me okay, Chris? There's a little bit of echo.
getting ready? Newly
But
appointed Chief Executive Officer. Hi, Brian.
hey,
How are you doing?
good morning. How are you doing? I feel like
Chris,
can you hear me okay, Chris? There's a little bit of echo.
I'm getting an echo.
I am too. It's very strange. I wonder if Alyssa can help us out, or we just keep rolling with it.
I'm getting an echo. Oh, that's my fault. That's my fault. I had a stream going in another place. So sorry about that,
Ah,
everyone.
okay. All right. Well,
Um,
listen, let's
so
do it
let's
over.
just start again there,
Yeah.
Brian. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good, thank you. It has been an exciting few weeks, Chris. It's been like a roller coaster, but one of those roller coasters where there's more ups than down. I got to do company kickoff in North America, and then we went to international and US sales kickoff. And Chris, it was so exciting to see all the passion across all of Veracode and the passion for our customers and solving the problems they have. So it has been an amazing couple of weeks, and of course Sam left us in an exceptionally strong position. So while this is a new role for me, I'm really starting in a place of strength.
Totally. We've had an exciting start to the year, or our fiscal year, which started in here in April. One of the things that I'd really like to ask you about is, know, about our recent acquisition of Longbow Security. Maybe you can tell us who Longbow Security is and how this is going to be great and fit in at Veracode.
Absolutely. So, Chris, as many of you know, or many of you know me as the Chief Product Officer, which is my prior role, I had a lot of opportunity to travel around the world and talk to customers, and we would go with our shiny new artificial intelligent Veracode Fix tool, and we'd want to show them that and all the capabilities that we'd built, or we would go talk about all the new features and functionality that we had built in the platform, or we would go talk about our brand new and shiny developer experience, which we'll get to in a few minutes. And while customers were very excited to see the progress that we were making in those areas, the fundamental question they would ask us is, that's all great, but you know what? Our big challenge is we don't know where all of that risk is, and we don't know where it resides. We have tens of thousands of developers writing code and shipping code every single day, every hour of every day, and they're deploying across multi-cloud infrastructures. And our big challenge is we don't know how to make sense of all of that risk. And so we went on a very long hunt for a solution that would not just fill that gap, but act as a foundation for us to take all of the value we had created in Veracode Fix and ultimately our AI solution and be able to apply that to production-like workloads. So we are very pleased to welcome the Longbow security team, because what Longbow does is it provides that all-encompassing visibility of all of that risk across multi-cloud environments. But the thing that's really magical about what it does, Chris, is that it helps organizations identify and prioritize that risk so that they can get after the next best action. None of us have infinite time and none of us have infinite resources. And so we have to make the best use of those resources. And Chris, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there's so much talk about cybersecurity risk. I think Christopher Wray, the FBI director, talked recently about the risk of Chinese hackers hacking US infrastructure. And that is the reality that our customers find themselves in. They find themselves in a place where they cannot get their arms and their minds around all of the risks they have in their organization, and they can't take all of those disparate objects and assess what that risk is. And that's exactly what Longbow Security does. It secures code from a developer's desktop or identifies risk from code that's passing through CI/CD pipelines and then is running in production across multi-cloud environments. And what does it do? It helps organizations assess the risk in containers or in a Kubernetes, instance, or just in their applications. And it enables them with the actions that they can take to go burn down that risk. And so I'm not going to call it the easy button, but it's very close, Chris, to the easy button to assess all of that risk and then be able to remediate that with very actionable insights. So welcome once again to the Longbow security team. We are incredibly excited to have them here, and what it's going to do for not only prospects but our existing customers, and how we plan to leverage that, Chris, to modernize the platform experience along with all of the other work that we're doing in developer experience.
One of the things I just have to say, I'm getting over a cold here, so if I start coughing again, I
It's
apologize.
okay.
But one of the things that's always been a challenge in cybersecurity is the different silos that we have within different organizations, and there's sort of always been a silo between infrastructure security and product security. And with the advent of DevSecOps, where infrastructure is being controlled by development teams, that was there was a hangover for a long time of all the tooling and where the reporting was going. What for infrastructure was really separate
Yeah.
from product security. So it's exciting to bring the two things together, because obviously you want an overall view of risk,
Yeah.
but now it's the developer actually fixing the vulnerabilities from configuration or infrastructure as code and things like that.
That's right. Just as you take a drink, maybe I'll jump in. But the cognitive load, Chris, which is what I think you're talking about, has increased. So developers are seeking tools that more seamlessly integrate into their environments, and they're looking for ways to go faster. By the way, that's why we overhauled our developer experience to conform with developers' expectations. And that's why we now have Longbow Security to enable them to go quickly without losing sight of all of that risk across the entire organization. And when I talk to security teams, Chris, and CISOs, they sometimes get a bad rap. What they're seeking to do is remove roadblocks so that they can go quickly. But that doesn't mean that they want to lose control or not have visibility over all of the work that's being done and all the application value that's being created. So this is the solution for both developers to ascertain what is going on in production environments, where all of that risk resides, but it gives them very targeted recommendations on where they need to go and where they need to go fix some of those vulnerabilities. And likewise for the security teams, it gives them the opportunity and the window for them to be able to go assess that risk. And Chris, we didn't talk about the future, but I do want to talk about how we plan to exploit further this newfound visibility. So, as you know, last year we announced Veracode Fix, and Veracode Fix wasn't the top 15 most exciting releases at the conference. It wasn't the top 10. It was the top 5 most exciting technologies at the conference and at the RSA conference. And since then, Chris, we have expanded to include more languages, more CWEs, and our intention with Longbow Security is to connect all of that AI value that we have created with your team and the research team, refining those fixed recommendations. And we plan to expand that into production so that we can look at production risk in containers or base images that containers are created from and be able to remediate that risk. So, Chris, we got a head start last year. We came out with an AI solution. We have evolved it since then. And Longbow is our big, exciting announcement at this year's conference. And Longbow is going to be supercharged with that same AI technology that we released last year.
Well, I mean, the idea of combining infrastructure risk and AppSec risk and connecting the dots, and then adding on top of that automated remediation across all of that. Today, lines of code, remediating issues in code, but the future of remediating configuration and doing software updates and infrastructure as code changes through AI, all together on one platform. That's a pretty exciting future,
It is. Yeah.
and it's great that we're plowing ahead here.
It is, listen, I think organizations are both leveraging AI and seeking AI solutions to mitigate risk. One thing we didn't talk about, Chris, is recently I did a keynote at Developer Week. And in that talk, I've expressed the significant challenges as organizations seek to use tools like Copilot or auto code generators or your favorite LLM. And everybody's leveraging these technologies as a means to go faster. And by the way, the cliff notes here is, or the punchline is, you should use large language models and artificial intelligence as a means to go faster, because we all believe that it provides a competitive advantage if time to market is critical, and time to market has always been critical. But you shouldn't have to trade off security with speed. And that's exactly what our AI approach happens to be. Ours is different to the LLMs online because we built ours on a curated data set. And through the 17 and 18 years of experience with your security teams, we have refined the security recommendations, or the fix recommendations that come out of fix. And so what this really means is that Veracode now acts as that middleware technology that sits inside of the developer's IDE and enables organizations to leverage Copilot inside of the IDE, or copy and paste code from your large language model. And we go ahead and we secure that. So you're right. The strength is the depth and breadth of the platform, the ability to define a personalized policy, but the visibility that comes through Longbow, and then the remediation recommendations that appear inside a developer's IDE, so that it's pervasive without being invasive, and enables them to go fast without without having to trade off security.
So, Brian, I feel like you're talking like a chief product officer here. Can you put on your CEO hat and talk
Absolutely.
about Longbow and how this is going to impact our customers?
I can listen. I kind of said this early in the conversation, is that when I even in my CEO capacity go talk to customers, they will talk about the risks that spread across multi-cloud environments and the need to go quickly. And what they're looking for, Chris, is a partner. When I shake hands with prospects and I shake hands with customers, they look me in the eye and they ask me a question. That question is, are you going to help me secure my infrastructure? Are you going to help me secure my applications? And are you going to enable me to lay my head on the pillow at night with peace of mind that my application infrastructure and all of my software assets are secure? And that is exactly our promise to them. And so my commitment as the CEO of Veracode, and by the way, the passion, the motivation, and drive behind every person at Veracode is to help the world secure software. And we do that by leveraging superior AI solutions, but also delivering the most comprehensive platform that enables our customers to go from code to cloud and secure everything in between. So, as a CEO, it is with huge amount of pride, Chris, but also excitement that we sit in a position of strength to be able to help customers with their challenges like never before. Oftentimes, a customer will ask you, or a prospect will ask you for a solution, and you scratch your head and you say, we don't have that. We don't find ourselves in that position, Chris. We find ourselves in a position to be able to help customers and help the market go quickly by leveraging the latest technologies, so they don't have to trade off security. And we deliver all of our capabilities into a developer experience that conforms with their expectations. So listen, as a CEO, I couldn't be more excited to be able to go out there with a platform and a technology suite that meets not only the market demand today, but also to lead an organization who is ready to pivot to any of those market shifts that occurred. So listen, we sit in a great position of strength to be able to help customers, Chris.
That's awesome. Excuse me. I wanted to just welcome any people who've joined the stream. We started about 15 minutes ago. I'm here, Chris Wysopal, co-founder and CTO of Veracode, speaking with Brian Roche, our CEO, and we're talking about what's going on at Veracode right now. We're talking about Longbow Security, our recent acquisition. We're talking about how we're forging ahead into AI remediation. And so it's pretty exciting times. This change, but this change is definitely good. So, Brian, you're our CEO now. What are some of the things that are new now that you've stepped into the role of CEO? What are you doing now that's different at Veracode?
I sleep a lot less and I'm busier now. But I'm busier doing all the right things, Chris. I think, listen, getting out there and interacting more with our customers, getting out there and interacting with the market more, and hearing what the challenges are, at the heart of everything I do, right? We exist to serve our customers. We exist to solve problems, and so I feel very fortunate to sit in a position where the market, prospects, customers bring their challenges to us, and we devise solutions quickly and bring them to market quickly, in a way, in a modality that suits them best. So it has been busy, Chris. But listen, our jobs are pretty important, man. Like we talked about the risk that's out there. Christopher Ray, as I talked about earlier in the show, articulated the potential risk with Chinese hackers. But listen, we know that our infrastructure is being hacked every day, every hour, every minute of every single day. And we know as organizations that we put software out there and it has potential vulnerabilities in it, that those can be exploited. And so, time is of the essence, and speed is our priority. And at the heart of everything that we do is our customers. We've got to deliver solutions to them that enable them to continue to be safe while delivering software quickly, but also with that same visibility to be able to determine what their risk is across their application portfolio. So it's been a great couple of weeks. And listen, you probably are sensing the energy from me because I got to be at sales kickoff and company kickoff, and I'm riding this wave of excitement for all of Veracode who are passionate about helping our customers. And Chris, that's what it's all about.
So, one of the things we have coming up is in May, just a couple weeks away. We're going to be going to RSA, and you mentioned last year our big announcement was um, Veracode Fix and auto remediation of code. This year, the big announcement is Longbow, and talking about how Longbow expands into infrastructure and combining AppSec and infrastructure. No more silos, right? One
Mhm.
workflow, one measure of risk, one prioritization across all of these things. So that's pretty exciting. I have a question about RSA for you, Brian. So I've been going for a super long time. How about yourself? How many RSAs have you been to?
So, Chris, you know that my background is more of a cloud native background. So I spent a lot of time going to Cloud Foundry Summit and all of those different technology summits. So this is my third time, I think it is, going to RSA conference. And I will tell you that the experience last year, the buzz last year to ride that wave of AI and to know that we were doing it in a responsible way. I don't know that anything could better that, but I will tell you that the team is absolutely going to try, because when I look at the highlights this year, we've got a booth, a bigger booth than we did last year. We've got better demos that are going to show off. Let me list them for you. Our developer experience, we're going to be showing off Veracode Fix. And by the way, we can't wait to show all of the language support that we've implemented. Can't wait to show all of the expanded CDBs that we now support. And by the way, Chris, did you know that we no longer require anybody to package their applications before they scan them? Did you know that? We should make it easy. Like you
It,
point at a repository and we just scan.
it's actually really amazing technology that we can just point and shoot, right?
Yeah.
And you get the risk back. Super easy to use.
I happen to be talking to a large customer in the UK. I won't say who it is, but they wanted to onboard 6,000 developers. And Chris, we pushed a button, we installed Veracode in their GitHub repo, and they just checked code in and we automatically scanned. Like when customers talk to us about solutions, they want them to be easy. Apple changed the way that we think about installing software, utilizing software, and how we measure value. And that is exactly the type of streamlined approach that we want to have. So let me get back to it. So that is what we're going to talk about and show at the booth. We're also going to show how we integrate directly into the IDE. And you know what, Chris, maybe we'll give a nod to some exciting functionality that's coming later on in the year. One of those exciting areas of functionality is an innovation where you can copy and paste code from a large language model, or you can use your favorite code generator or your favorite Copilot, if you happen to use Copilot, inside of your IDE. And we do a couple of important things as we establish ourselves as that middleware security layer. First thing is we'll identify open source risk, or what we like to call fingerprint analysis, which is, has the code that has been generated for you from an LLM, been stolen or borrowed from, maybe I can say that more kindly, borrowed from a library that's distributed under a license. Something that's super important, right? And may not seem like it's that glamorous or cool, but it's really important, Chris, to be able to identify, are you violating any distribution licenses that are out there? The second thing that we're doing is scanning inside of the IDE as you're typing code or as you're pasting code into your IDE. We are determining whether or not that code is vulnerable, and we're offering you remediation guidance inside of both educating, but also offering you a fix for any code that you place in there. And then, Chris, we're bringing policy to life in a new way. So as you're attempting to include or import something inside of your IDE, what are we doing? We're also determining whether or not your security team allows you to use that latest version, or whether you're using a version that's too old and you need to migrate to the new one. And by the way, we're making it easier for you to do that because we're offering you solutions and guidance on how to do that. So that's some exciting functionality that's coming later in the year. And but obviously, we don't want to overshadow Longbow security solving the biggest challenge that customers have. What is all the risk? How do I get my head around all of this risk? And can you take all these disparate objects, prioritize them to make sense for me, and enable my developers to go off and fix that? So one last thing I think we should mention, Chris
Right.
Ang. Chris Ang is going to be doing a talk, right? He's going to be,
Yes.
you want to maybe mention that?
Yes, yes. So Chris is going to be talking about with our partner Scientia. He's going to be talking about open source risk, and what we've learned by going through all the data from all of Veracode customers. There's a sea of open source out there, millions and millions and millions of packages. But what we find is, only maybe a few tens of thousands are actually used by enterprises.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to get the view of what's actually used, how is it used, what's the risk in that, and it couldn't be a hotter topic with the latest backdoor that just happened in the compression algorithm that was luckily caught in time, about open source risk. It's something that everyone is dealing with, and we have some really nice data to talk about it, or Chris will be talking about at RSA.
We do, Chris. I often, as many leaders do, look at Forrester and Gartner reports and IDC, and you search for all of this data and information. You know where I go, Chris? I go to our sauce report because we have 17 years of experience scanning our customers' code, and we've got a wealth of data. I will tell you that when I prepared for the Developer Week talk, the keynote that I did, I borrowed a ton of information from a ton of data from that report. And so anyone that has not seen it, I would encourage them to go grab it and take a look at the sauce report. It's available from our website along with all the other white papers. And go see Chris and our partner Cynthia. Chris is a phenomenal speaker.
Absolutely. I just want to mention a couple of other things that are happening at RSA for us. We're going to be also at the W, like we were last year, on the second floor. So we have a lot of space, event space, that we're going to be using. We're going to have a CISO Games event. I'm going to be giving a lock picking class. So come and learn lock picking from me. I'm not a deviant Olem, but I'm pretty decent at it. And we're going to be hosting Executive Women's Forum event. And there's a couple of other surprises that we're going to be hosting, which you'll hear about soon. So not only can you get live demos at the booth, you can also come and chat with us at the W in a little more relaxed environment with food and some of these different events going on.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's right. Thursday morning is the EWS, the Executive Women's Forum, right? And I believe our very own Dawn is going to be there at that. And I plan to be there too. I think that starts at around 7 o'clock in the morning, or roughly. So if I get the time wrong, maybe we can put out the right time. Hey, by the way, as I reflect on last year, Chris, I wanted to mention something. I actually had a chance to do a video with John Sapp from Texas Mutual, and I'm sure he's out there somewhere, but that was
he's
certainly
actually in the comments saying he can't wait to talk to you at RSA.
Oh, great.
This year.
Okay, very good. Well, so looking forward to seeing John there, but would love to interact with folks at the W. have them come by and maybe record, sort of share some of their challenges. Maybe we can, not so much talk about Veracode, but talk about the challenges that we're all seeing in the out there in the market and also in our organizations. I think we didn't talk about this at the beginning, but one of the benefits of the RSA conference is to come together, to collaborate, to brainstorm solutions, and to share ideas. And yeah, I certainly cannot wait to interact with everybody that's at the W, everyone at the booth, and everyone at the conference, because I think for me that's the value. The value is that we have our hearts and our minds open to new ideas and understand the challenges and solution together.
Absolutely. I love talking with customers at RSA. It's a great way to do a lot of that all in one place at one time.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to kind of wrap up here. So definitely come see us at RSA if you're going. If not, check out the online resources we have to look at Longbow and Veracode Fix. But I also wanted to mention that Longbow is hiring. We're going to post a link to the chat that we're hiring for that new Longbow team, because there's a lot of work to be done uh, to to uh, to make that better and real first class part of Veracode.
Indeed. Listen, I hope you feel better. We're going to have an
Thank you.
exciting
Sorry about
event.
all this
We
coughing.
have No, you did fantastic. We have a fantastic event coming up, and I want to thank the team and everyone at Veracode for their passion. You know, everything we do, Chris, we do it with the customer at the center of everything that we're doing, and I couldn't be more excited for the capabilities that we've built, the offerings that we have, and the platform that we've created. We're very proud, and we can't wait to show it all off at RSA conference this year. So I think that's a wrap, right?
Excellent. Oh, it was great talking with you, Brian. I hope everyone has
Too.
a great rest of their day.